past few months, the borderland has been host to a presidential visit and a presidential campaign kickoff. But with that exposure comes a cost. The question, who's paying? Last month, ABC7 broke the story that the city of El Paso billed the Trump campaign almost $500,000 for costs associated with the president's February rally. My co-anchor Eric Elkin has been digging through hundreds of pages of documents to find how the costs were tallied and what happens if the bill is not paid.
The total bill is what you see right here, $470,417.05. Now, the list ABC7 obtained through an open records request includes expenses by the fire department, the Department of Aviation, Sun Metro, and Streets and Maintenance. But by far the largest, nearly $381,000 for the police department. Today, I tallied up the itemized bill, which lists 492 officers on duty the day of President Trump's rally. Now, to put that into perspective, Beto O'Rourke's police department bill was only $28.6 thousand, and there were 90 officers on duty during his kickoff rally on March 30th. Now back to the Trump invoice, it's all in excruciating detail. $144 for the person who dropped off sandbags, the miles traveled by each bus making trips to the Coliseum where the rally took place, the rates the government sets for each piece of equipment. We've posted it all on KVIA.com so you can read it as well. And as we've reported, the due date for that bill has come and gone without payment. So what happens now?
The wall didn't make that much of a difference. You know where it made a big difference? Right here in El Paso.
A loud night inside the El Paso County Coliseum on February 11th, but quiet since then.
I myself haven't heard anything, so I reached out to our comptroller's office just to do a follow-up on that invoice and see, where we're at. So far, we haven't heard anything.
ABC7 has reached out multiple times to the Trump campaign since the bill was due on April 26th, but has not received a response.
Is there any consideration in terms of pursuing legal action against the Trump campaign for not paying that bill if they choose not to?
I mean, that wouldn't be for me to decide. That'd ultimately be up to us working with our legal department to see if it's worth exploring any of that.
The city of Tucson decided it wasn't worth it. Campaigns for both Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders refused to pay for rallies there in 2016. Tucson City Attorney Mike Rankin telling me, quote, the result of any legal actions would at best be uncertain and at worst would expose the city not only to its own costs, but to the liability of paying the other party's attorney fees. Moving forward, Rankin added the city of Tucson is planning to use language in future facility use agreements to ensure the city is not left responsible for the costs. I asked the city of El Paso if it would consider doing the same.
Whether it's a presidential nominee or somebody else showing up to the city, obviously something that we can explore maybe in the future.
In the meantime, the city of El Paso waits for nearly $500,000 that may never show up. It's money that's already been spent, mostly on payroll.
We have some contingency built into our budget in order to cover unexpected events such as this, and so we've got a little bit of cushion there to cover.
Cortina says that cushion is about $700,000 per year, meaning that night of February 11th alone would eat up nearly 70% of that contingency if the city gets a Trump campaign cold shoulder. As El Paso remains in the national spotlight,
I am so glad to be here with you today in my hometown, in my home state, to announce that I'm running to serve you as the next president of the United States of America.
And with an El Paso native running for president, the campaign visits are likely to continue into 2020. The city initially told ABC7 Beto O'Rourke's campaign kickoff rally on March 30th would not incur a bill. 2 days later, an invoice was sent and was not given to us until nearly 2 weeks later. That bill, a little less than $29,000, more than 16 times cheaper than Trump's. The city citing the high-profile nature of a presidential visit. The other significant difference, that bill is getting paid. Beto for America already paid more than $7,600. The remaining $21,000 due this Friday, and a campaign spokesman told ABC7 they will be paying on time. And O'Rourke's campaign also told me it did pay a private company to set up the barricades and paid that company directly. As for the Trump campaign, that may not be the only bill it receives. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office tells me the total cost in salaries for its part for the February 11th rally was nearly $45,000. According to a spokesperson with the Sheriff's Office, it's not been decided yet where that bill will be going.
And I'm wondering, how does all of this compare to past presidential and campaign visits?
And that's a question that we've been getting a lot throughout this reporting and that we've been asking for the past month. Nothing came back on our open records requests for presidents' visits from Presidents Obama, Bush, or Clinton. And when we pressed the city further on this matter as to whether or not this is the first time they've ever sent an invoice to a sitting president or a campaign, the staff told us the staff was different during those previous administrations, and basically they just have no record of it right now.